are taking this episode in a little bit different direction than we have in the past. For one reason, we sort of went a little bit away from medical stuff because of the taboo on some of the topics.
Yeah, we got in trouble.
But one of the things that made me excited during the President Trump's campaign was when Bobby Kennedy came on board. I don't necessarily agree with every word out of the man's mouth or whatever, but the fact that his whole aim is make America healthy again was meaningful and impactful to me. And when he came on board, I began to pay attention to what he was saying, what his whole, it's not just about vaccines. A lot of people see him as anti-vax. That's just a piece of what he is about. He literally wants us to be healthy again. And I have to say to my dear sweet grandmother, you were right. One of the things that Bobby Kennedy is talking about a lot is going back to tallow beef tallow, which we used to call lard, but my grandmother and my mother always seasoned vegetables with beef tallow or fatback or something like that. And when we got older, we said, oh, that's bad. And, butter is bad. And all of these things, we have to go low fat. And so out came margarine and out came vegetable oils and all of these other things. And so they quickly replaced beef tallow. And the thing is they had no flavor. They just had no flavor. But it was supposed to be better for you, and we went with it. Well, now, as it turns out, my grandmother was right, and now there's vegetable oil is not good, margarine is not good, and the other thing, one of the things about that came out was sugar. Oh, sugar's bad. Well, I would say, you don't want to dump sugar on everything, but these artificial sweeteners have been proven to be carcinogens. Did I say that right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so all these people who were putting sweet and low in their tea instead of sugar were literally poisoning themselves. So I began to really look into this. And one of the things that I will tell you, and I've talked about this before, is when I was struggling to lose weight myself, the Lord gave me a prescription, told me eat this, don't eat that. And one of the things he said to me was, don't cut fat. It's good for you. Well, lo and behold, all these things are coming back to say, let's get back to that. And one of the things that somebody was talking about the other day, when the Cracker Barrel controversy came up, Steak and Shake was advertising, well, come enjoy our tallow French fries. And I just thought, yeah, they're beginning to have an effect. Bobby Kennedy and his people have gotten certain companies to stop putting carcinogenic dyes in their foods. If you look at the Fruit Loops, for instance, in the UK, they just are sort of light in color. But if you look at Fruit Loops in the United States, they're bright red and bright green and bright blue. So there's a big difference in that. And getting rid of these dyes and getting rid of some of these things is really good for you. So I started, as I said, started looking into some of this stuff. And we are very interested in health. We take a lot of vitamins and, we've tried a lot of things to help us, our bodies, be better. And so vegetable oil is on the bad list. And I started looking at stuff and I didn't even realize that there was vegetable oil in my coffee creamer. Who knew? Then I started noticing I like peanuts. So I really like just unsalted peanuts. And also our dogs like peanuts and they are better to not have salt. But I started looking at the salted peanuts and expecting the ingredients to be peanuts and salt. No, it's peanuts, vegetable oil, and salt because the vegetable oil makes the salt stick to the peanut. You can't it's really hard to get away from some of this stuff. But Bobby Kennedy, before he was running for president, started a website, and we'll put the link in the description box. But you actually have an app on your phone where you can scan the barcode. When you're in the grocery store, you can scan the barcode and it'll tell you whether it's Bobby approved or not. I mean, that's what it's called, Bobby approved. And some of them will say pending or still, we're still looking into that one. Now, I know you don't want to go through the grocery store with your phone and everything you buy, but you can also search for these products on your phone that you normally buy and see what comes up as what is, quote, Bobby approved. But it's really opened my eyes, my eyes in particular have been open to I knew there was corruption in Big Pharma, but the level of corruption. But now it's like the FDA and everything else. I'm just getting blown away by finding out all the poisonous stuff they've been doing to us. And I just want to make one more point, and that is when you're, cancer, a lot of the stuff that they give or trying to push on us or have carcinogens in them. But the one of the things that has come out recently is this ivermectin drug that they poo-pooed as horse paste, not only turned out to be effective against COVID, but now they say that ivermectin and I can't remember the other drug's name.
Hydroxychloroquine?
No, the combination of these two drugs is a cancer treatment. And I have always had difficulty with chemotherapy. And how many people I know personally who had chemotherapy. And I know there are a lot of people suffered from cancer and maybe they felt like chemotherapy helped them. But I know a lot of people who went through all of that. Only 2 years later, 5 years later, they said the cancer came back. Well, I'm not sure it came back, but was it ever really gone? I don't know.
Yeah, medicine throughout the course of our lifetimes has really taken a dip down. The medicine of our parents and grandparents was at least relatively safe, as long as mercury wasn't an ingredient in it. But boy, the stuff that they started coming up with has just ruined medicine, and now they're trying to dig the way out, and Bobby Kennedy's doing a good job of facilitating that.
I think he is, and I found his information to be very helpful. And I would encourage everybody to go to hhs.gov and see all of the things that he has done with the FDA and vaccines and other things, the changes that they've made and the recommendations that they made. And you know, I know people get offended by this, but if some people have been posted on social media pictures of people at the beach in the 50s or 60s, and you're hard pressed to find an overweight person. It's like not that everybody was twiggy, but people were a lot thinner then. And now you
I think
see,
maybe the Twiggy reference might not catch on most people at
well,
this
they
point.
can Google it. It wouldn't be bad for them to learn. So Google it if you don't know who Twiggy was. But my point is, now you look at it to go to the beach. Well, I was just at the beach this summer, and I hate to say it, but we have become an obese country.
That grocery store, the closest grocery store we go to, I won't go into detail, but I mean, at least 50%, if not 75% of the people in there are grossly overweight.
Well, and that's because of all the changes they made to our diet. Like I said, we used to tell my mother, "Don't put that in our green beans." Well, first of all, it gave it a lot of flavor. But secondly, we thought, oh, we bought the lie. It's just like the food pyramid we've talked about before. The food pyramid is almost you can flip it upside down and do it that way. So in any case, Bill has a lot of experience in medical research, and going forward, I think we're going to talk a little bit more about being healthy and staying healthy.
Yeah, and in fact, we lost our YouTube channel for the sin of interviewing a full professor of pediatric medicine at a local university here, and he had the audacity to proclaim that he did not recommend the vaxes for children, and that was it.
I want to clarify one point. He didn't say all vaxes. He was just talking about one specific one that we can't mention. Still. So, was there anything else you wanted to say?
No, with that qualification.
Right, but we also want to say we will probably be showcasing some products that we have found. One of them is, you all know, we still take Cerule, the Stem Enhance product, and we have.
Which is unique, and it'll always be unique because it only comes from one lake in the world, and the people that we deal with to get those Cerule products has they're the only people with a license to harvest the freshwater algae that they turn into those Cerule products. And
So anyway, you can expect to hear more from us about all the different things that a lot of stuff that Bobby Kennedy is doing is getting lost because of all of this other stuff that's going on with Russia, Ukraine, and everything else. But we wanted to help you be aware of some of the things that we have found.
yeah, and it's getting to the point where the political side that we've been covering for the last 4 years is now starting to have its own dangers. And so, we'll go pick up some health news.
The website, if you want to download the Bobby approved app, is FLAV, FLAV city.com. So that's FLAVCITY.com. No space.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.